So Dub is going down. We just had a wild card weekend. Now listen, until Sunday night, all the games was on point. We saw a crazy matchup between the Carolina Panthers and the Rams. Panthers should have won. I don't know how you get in a situation where you got 38 seconds and you got 3 timeouts and somehow you get no yards. You go first and 10, second and 10, third and 10, and then fourth and 10. And my boy Jimmy Horn Jr. dropped the ball, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. You got to catch the ball. But we had a lot of exciting games. We had the Bears comeback, largest comeback win in franchise history when it comes to the playoffs. They were down 21-3. They came back and won that game against a division foe. All the games were good until we got to, the Patriots-Chargers matchup. Wasn't very exciting. And then last night we had the Texans and the Steelers. I could have did without watching that game as well. But we on to the second round, the divisional round. It's going down. We got some huge matchups. So we start off with the first game of the week. This Saturday, we got the Bills taking on the Broncos. Now, mind you, the Bills had to go into Jacksonville. They had to go into Duval and knock off a really good Jaguars team. It was difficult, but again, I said it before we got to the game that this is their chance. This is the Bills, their window. Patrick Mahomes is not there. Patrick Mahomes is their arch nemesis. He's been knocking them all types of ways. He's not there. This is their window for Josh Allen, the golden boy, to take his team and for them to finally get a Super Bowl win. But they got a tough road. They went into Jacksonville. Now they got to go into Denver. The Broncos have been on a heater this season. Bo Nix is who we thought he was, playing great. You got Cortland Sutton, so many weapons on this team, a great defense. What do you think happens in this game, Doug?
I just think due to the inexperience of Denver, the Bills will win. I had at the beginning of the season, I picked the Bills to win the Super Bowl. And I'm a Patriots fan, by the way.
So that's crazy work. That's crazy work, by the way. But remember, crazy work picking them, and you a Patriots fan.
Remember, bro, I was not high on my team. Well, 14-3, they have far exceeded what I expected.
Expectations, yeah.
Yeah, I was saying, hey, give us 8 games. I'm good with that. That's a step in the right. They gave us 14. Anywho, I got Buffalo.
Yeah, man. Listen, I think this game is really going to come down to how well Bo Nix is able to get out of the pocket and get the ball downfield when the Bills bring pressure on defense. The Bills are going to blitz. They're going to bring a lot of pressure. We see Bo Nix get out of the pocket and get the ball to his weapons. He gets the ball to Franklin. He gets the ball to Cortland Sutton. How well is he able to do this against his Bills defense? And I'm going to need to see James Cook touch the ball enough to get 100 yards rushing and receiving combined. If those two things happen, if the Bills are able to shut down Bo Nix when he gets out of the pocket, if they give James Cook the ball enough times for him to get going and get 100 yards, I think the Bills win this game. And I think both of those things happen. So I got to also go with the Bills to knock off the Broncos at home to get this weekend started. It's going to be an exciting game. I think this game is going to be one where it's going to be a defensive struggle, I think, at times. But I think the Bills are going to be able to win this game and move on to the next round. 49ers Seahawks. So this is a division matchup. These guys have already played twice. The 49ers have gotten healthy at the right time. Dub, you say it all the time. You got to peak at the right time. 49ers begin to peak at the right time. Christian McCaffrey has been lights out. Team on his back all year. But now they got to go to the division rival, the Seahawks, and they got to beat them at the crib. I would say I like Jackson Smith and Jigba to do what he's been doing all season, which is catch the ball at a high rate, get upfield, get a lot of yards. I think they rely heavily on him to do that. I don't know what the weather looks like, but the weather always plays a factor in Seattle, whether it's going to be windy, rainy, cold. That'll play a factor. I got to go with the Seahawks winning at home. I just don't see the 49ers going to Seattle and beating them with the 12th man and the potential for any type of weather that could come about in Seattle. I'm going to go with Seattle. I think they win it at home. What's your thoughts on it, Doug?
I agree. if my memory serves me correctly, I don't think the Seahawks made it to the playoffs. Like it's been a while since the Seahawks season.
Been a minute.
Been a minute. So that stadium, the 12 man, like you said, rumbling, shaking. You know, you probably have extreme climate. It might be really chilly. Might have a little rain. Um, George Kittle with the injury of Kittle. You know, you don't have your dink and dunk with him. That doesn't provide Brock Purdy that safety net. So the defense is going to put a lot of pressure on him this upcoming weekend. So I got Seattle, and I think I got Seattle by like 10.
Moving on, Doug, we got your Patriots hosting the Houston Texans. So I will say the Texans went against the Steelers. Listen, you know, you got Aaron Rodgers. This might have been his last game ever. That Texans defense is serious. But I feel like there wasn't a lot of resistance to be had from a Steelers offense. They hadn't ran the ball well all season. DK Metcalf, I talked about how we needed him to step up. We needed him to be a playmaker. And him and A.J. Brown was in the same boat this week. We saw drop passes. We saw him just kind of look ineffective, out of sorts out there. You know, like I remember back in the day when we was young, we would say, yo, you big for no reason. I'm sorry, but that's how it looked this week with DK Metcalf. It's going to be a totally different ball game when the Texans go to Gillette Stadium and take on these Patriots. Drake May is looking like the best quarterback in the league right now. I'm sorry, I got to say it. He's playing well. You know, like I said, the kid is the heir to the throne. I like what I see on offense from them, mixing it up with Ramondre Stevenson and with Travion Henderson. I think that two-headed monster in the backfield is going to be a lot for the Texans to deal with, even though they are one of the top defenses in the league. I think that what we see is just a degradation over time of this offense just chugging away, just making plays, dinking and dunking over time. And then the home field advantage, I got to go with the Patriots winning at home, sending the Texans back to Houston. What's your thoughts on it, Doug?
Yeah, you know I'm gonna say New England.
So I knew it.
I think this game is gonna be one in the trenches. Both teams have defensive-minded head coaches, so I'm interested. Interested to see how each coach schemes for each team's quarterback.
Right.
That's going to dictate the game. I don't think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think both teams score under 20 points, and it's going to be a dogfight. But I got New England. I like this matchup. Shout out to the Texans. You guys had a great season. You know, you achieved a lot. You won your first road playoff game in Texans history. The most receiving yards by I forgot the receiver name.
Christian Kirk.
Christian Kirk. Stephen A. Not Charlie. Christian.
Oh my God, Stephen A.
Christian. You know, but you know, honest mistake. Most receptions and reception yards in playoff history for the Texans. So they've had a lot of, you know, record-breaking things that happened last week, but that all ceases.
Yeah, I agree, and I think to your point about the quarterbacks, I just haven't liked the way that C.J. Stroud has looked in a lot of the games that I've watched him this season. Man, I think he's a great young quarterback. Dub, I know you remember. When we drafted Bryce Young, I kept saying we should have drafted C.J. Stroud. That was just, you know, my opinion. But my boy just hasn't looked comfortable. You know, I think it was 3 fumbles last night against the Steelers. 2 of them lost. Him and the center weren't on the same page. And then with Nico Collins going down with an injury, I don't know if it was just a concussion or what. But if you take Nico Collins out of this offense, yes, Christian Kirk stepped up, played really big. And that was great to see because, you know, I had forgot Christian Kirk was still in the league, man. He did his thing in Jacksonville for quite some time. But if I got to go with a quarterback that I think is going to lead their team to the AFC Championship, right now, I think Drake May has the hot hand in comparison to C.J. Stroud. So that's why I made my pick. But hopefully, to your point, Doug, we see a really competitive game. And hopefully, C.J. does his thing. We'll see how that shakes out. And last but not least, in the divisional round, we got the Los Angeles Rams going to Soldier Field to take on the Bears. I know it's going to be cold. I hope it ain't snowing and ugly. But even if it is, Even if it is, I know one thing. It's a storm coming to Chicago on Sunday night, and that storm is called Puka Nacua. Puka Nacua will be in Chicago on Sunday night. I don't know if a blizzard's coming. I don't know if it's a nor'easter. Whatever it is, I know one storm is going to be there, and it's Puka Nacua, and nobody's stopping Puka Nacua, dog. Nobody's stopping him. I love what the Bears are doing with Caleb Williams. You know, he's eccentric, does his thing, but the boy can play. He can make every throw there is to make on the field. He's poised under pressure. He knows how to look beyond that first read. Very, 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 very great quarterback. He's everything that people said he was. Like coming out of Oklahoma, transferring to USC, they didn't have a lot of success. Him and Lincoln Riley at USC. I'm like, I don't know, man. But this kid is great, man. He's great. I like this young Bears team. I just think, Matt Stafford, Puka Nacua, Devontae Adams, I got to go with the Rams, and I don't think it's going to be close. I think the Rams, this game starts off, slow, and I think the Rams really start to apply belt at some point, later in the third quarter. I think they win this game by at least a touchdown.
I'm going to have to go with the Bears, man. I think it's going to be a shootout, and I think it's going to be a battle between the coaches, Sean McVay and Ben Johnson. As you can see, Detroit didn't look the same this year without Ben Johnson.
Yep.
And you see, Chicago, I think they finally got their coach. They finally got their coach since Lovie Smith.
And they got their quarterback too.
Yeah. So with that being said, and kind of looking at the scores from last week, with the Rams 34-31 and Chicago 27-31, I think it's going to be a high scoring game. They're probably combined going to score 60 or more points, and it's going to be a shootout. And I think that the Chicago Bears deep offense may have a slight advantage over Los Angeles due to just age. Los Angeles is old. They're just old. And I just think Chicago got a little bit more left in the tank. So I got Chicago.